Like, how are you gonna make a serious video and throw in a wedding song? Like, who made this? This is, again, super cringe. It's about the fact every $100 a man makes 258. Woo! And this is okay. One, military, doesn't matter your gender, doesn't matter male, female, we get paid the same. It's all a matter of your pay grade. In what ways should you check your unconscious biases as you're leading and interacting with other airmen? What are the consequences of not checking them? This is the most wokest question ever in this training, and this is why I wanted to do this video. No one in the right mind that's actually normal uses the word unconscious biases. That is a woke term, that is a CRT term, that is no one, again, that is not in any conversation. That is something that you learn in academia. So I'll say it here, the only reason why the military works with diversity and inclusion as it is because one, mission, two, values, okay? Hey yo, what's up you guys? So I'm coming to you with another video and we are talking about woke military training. You know, I had to do it this week. I gotta do a video. We gotta discuss what is going on here. So, shall we begin? But first, of course, if you're new to my channel, what is up? My name is Mitch, Maverick Mitch. Hey man, picture all the Mitches, and pretty much I like talking about what I like talking about. So, current events, reviews, pop culture within the scope of entertainment, culture, and purpose. So, TV, movie, social, political commentary. Be sure to check out all those videos as you're finishing this video. Alright, getting into it, setting up for getting in the meat of this video. You know, first and foremost, this is the thoughts of myself. I'm not representing the US Air Force. This is not reflective of the DoD. This is just coming from me. You know, when it comes to my other topics, obviously this has to do with the military and I got eyes on me, so might as well put that out there as a disclaimer, right? And so also, next thing, when it comes to with the discussion topic of getting into this video, I will admittedly say that this is not super woke. But as someone who is hyper-focused in all of this, that reads into all of this, that watches all of this that is going on, I can pick out the details. And we'll pick out the details through something called, so our major command is pushing this down from top down and all this stuff. And so pretty much they are doing what we call bridge chats, you know, having these discussions. You know, for the most part, they're good. They have interaction with your coworkers and all that stuff and on various topics. But this one is about inclusivity, right? This is about diversity, right? And so already buzzwords, right? And then we'll go into the video of how they are doing this, how this goes into it. Already the video that I'm going to show you, that the one that they use for training that we're all going to watch, is not even Air Force military centric. It's like corporate, right? And we'll break it down because it's stupid in itself. And we'll go into some of the discussions topics that they provided after, you know? And so going again, just real quick, I'll touch again on it. When we went through this week and everything, it was fine, whatever. I kind of had to hold my tongue about it. And the people, as we're talking about it, it was one of those things where everyone was kind of like, without saying it, it was kind of like almost rolling their eyes as far as, oh, we have to go about this, so we're just gonna do it type thing. Not to say all of this is insignificant or irrelevant. There are parts that sure you can pick into and like, hey, have a discussion, but for the most part, the dialogue and the premises are pretty much in the levels of wokeness and CRT, right? And we'll get into it and we'll discuss it, so yeah. Alright, so getting into it, I'll play the video, but already it's cringe, right? So when you hear it, it's gonna be the song from 1,000 Years. It's the song that played was in Twilight back in the 2000s, you know? Again, this is super cringe. Like, how are you gonna make a serious video and throw in a wedding song? Like, who made this? This is, again, super cringe. And then keep in mind, again, this is supposed to be for the military, but we're using something that's corporate. Stupid. Like, pause. Like, again, we have our own public affairs. like Air Force public affairs. They can't come up with something similar. You have to get from something that is from corporate, of course, because this is what the CRT woke people are using. So they're gonna take from the commercial civilian industry, not from the military, because why not? Because of course these things don't always 100% translate. So dumb. So the unease of being judged when I leave early to pick up my children. You know, pause right there, right? And so I'm also gonna say, like, not every one of these things is super like woke or bad or anything. Some of this is valid, and so that's where, like, that's the trick. Like, you get something that's actually valid, and then you throw in the woke stuff that, like, is under there, right? So you're consuming the woke stuff because you're consuming the stuff that is palpable, right? And so, okay, so we have mansplaining, talking about frustrating and people talking over you. Asserting my opinion, labeled as aggressive and angry, and now we're talking about a little bit race stuff, okay? Assuming annoyance when presuming to my family versus work. Same thing here. Again, those things are valid. Like, because there are single parents, you know, and even if they aren't single parents, right? Like you have to have this balance, and so there is. Some of these things are valid, right? The pressure to fit in. Okay. Oh, here it's the anxiety of sharing my personal life because most people around me are heterosexual. The anxiety of how others will react to my disability. This is supposed to be the military. Y'all like we can't have disability people in the military. Sorry, because this is the armed forces. This is the military fighting force, and we can't have disabled people. Bye. The awkwardness when I get mistaken for someone else of the same ethnicity. I get mistaken for someone else who's Filipino. I got mistaken for someone who's not Filipino. The awkwardness when the client assumes that my white male colleague is in charge. Ooh. Simply don't have children. Okay, whatever. The strain of something about not having conversation in like we have a different accent. Like yeah, it's the military. You have walks of different life. You may have supervisors that may not have English as their first language. Guess what? You roll with it. like, did I say something? Yes, Tito. Yes, Sergeant Tito. Facts don't care about your feelings? What is this? Indignation? Okay, going with this one. The indignation when you think that I was promoted just because I'm a woman. I'm not gonna say it, but sometimes... I'm just kidding. BTC, not... just kidding. It's all about the everyday. It's not about the big and the small. Okay, that was whatever. It's about the fact every $100 a man makes 258. Woo! And this is okay. One, military, doesn't matter your gender, doesn't matter male, female, we get paid the same. It's all a matter of your pay grade. You can work 12 hours a week, 12 hours per shift versus 8 hours. We get paid the same based upon your rate. So again, this doesn't translate. And then let alone like the gender wage myth, we're going with that. We're still propagating that. That has been debunked 100 times over. Woke, hello woke, right? Women of color hold 3% of C-suite positions. Hey, you can't say that in the military. We have a female Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force who is half Korean. So woman of color and a woman. So you can't say that. No, but I mean, I would imagine that she got her job because she actually worked hard, and I would hope like she best, again, not speaking on behalf of the military, that she best or base, that she got her job because of her ability, not because she's a woman or she's a woman of color and all that stuff. So I would imagine my Air Force is not that woke that we picked someone based upon their merit, and I think anyone would agree to that kind of statement. 7 in 10 worker fathers want to work more flexibility. Okay, so find a job that with the flexible hours if that is your priority. Now in the military, yeah, that's a little bit like you gotta work it out with your supervisor, your flight, yo, depending on manning. Like, yo, we're all in this together, and it's the military, so. Disabled people are significantly more likely to experience unfair treatment at work than non-disabled people. You don't fucking say. Like, I don't curse a lot, but this is like, okay. And again, why are we doing this? This is corporate shit. Like, and I don't know how corporate deals with this, but like military, like, yo, like, and there's like, you would imagine, like, how did you get past basic training? Like, some of these people, like, are, like, on the spectrum, yo, like, okay, I ain't gonna name names, but it's like, you just want to keep an eye out, like, I'm your best friend, right? Like, we good, right? if you having a bad day, you tell me, right? The day before? Continue. Transgender people are twice as likely to be unemployed and are 4 times as likely to live in poverty. Yeah, let's 1 in 4 of us will experience a mental health issue each year. Oh jeez, okay. The team of friends reports 50% everyone's included. I would imagine so. Hold on. Inclusion and diversity is not just about gender, ethnicity, sexual orientation, background, disability, culture, age, mental health. What's the catch here? It's about you. It's about me. Hold on. I need to do that. It's about you. It's about me. It's about all of us, right? And see, so that's where you get it. That's where it is. That's the whole gimmick. It's not about inclusion. It's not that. No, we're gonna throw that in and do it subvertedly, right? Like subliminally. But it's all about you. It's all about me. It's all about all of us. We are all human. Unless maybe you are, like, side note, unless you in the womb, then some people may not consider you human because you are worth. Okay, we are all unique. Yeah, actually, well, that's true. We all just want a chance to pass. Like, again, basic training. What is this? For all our differences and embrace ours as strengths. Inclusion promotes belonging, purpose, and well-being. Diversity ignites creativity, problem-solving, and everything. It's a vision for a better world for our children. And all it takes is one person to care, one commitment to act. Be the one. Army of one. You know what? I'll just touch it here. Join the conversation. So I'll say it here. The only reason why the military works with diversity and inclusion as it is because 1, mission, 2, values. Okay? So the way that the military operates and how the beast of the function works is that we're gonna draw from all 50 states and its territories. Everyone's gonna come from a very different walk of life. You know, East Coast, West Coast, South, Northwest, you know, Midwest, Hawaii, Alaska, whatever, territories, right? And so again, the only reason why we can work all together because we put everything aside and focus on the mission. Whatever the mission is for your unit, we focus on it, and that's what you do. That's your job, and it is ingrained in us as military because through basic training, it is what we understand to be handled at that moment. Likewise, that works because that has a foundation of values. What, you know, each branch has their own separate values, but we kind of relate to each other in the same courses. Like for Air Force, integrity first, service before self, excellence in all you do, right? And so that translates to someone else. It's like honor, commitment, courage. For Navy, I don't know if it's the right order, but you get it. It's like, okay, commitment. That means that, you know, service for self. We have an understanding. Courage, okay, courage to do the right thing when no one's looking. That's an integrity, right? And then honor and excellence in all we do. Like, again, it's not maybe one for one, but we understand each other. So when it comes to, again, the military, it works because, again, we have shared values and a shared mission. You can translate that to America, right? You can translate that to America and how we can make America great in having a shared mission, not fight for each other, maybe fight for like making America actually great, maybe attacking another world power, like figuratively, like making us great, not physically attacking them, but like, you know, China wants to be a next world power, Russia wants to be a world power, right? We should be better than those countries and keep our stance, right? You know, and again, you know, this country has in many ways has lost its Judeo-Christian values. Not with everyone, but the people that is on the left, right? They don't really care. They don't really see the value of these values that actually made this country great, right? They perceive everything that has built was just automatic and is not predicated on anything that came before it, right? And so, yeah. Alright, so the next part I want to kind of go into is the discussion points in everything that we had, right? And so, again, this is coming from our Major Command, ACC, and this is our bridge chats. Again, I'm not going to say that all of this is bad, right? I'm not saying, like I said in the beginning, as much as I put, like, this is a woke military training, it's not all woke, right? But I'll point down to areas in which there is, right? So, going into the discussion questions, alright, so first question, how has diversity enabled your team to reach a goal or function more efficiently, and in what ways do you encourage inclusivity? Again, it's this idea, the premise, again, that's a normal question, but the premise is that how has diversity enabled, as if there is no diversity. There is diversity in the military, right? And so, and actually, that's another thing that I want to bring up. The military has been, at least in my experience, right? This may not be Air Force-wide, military-wide, armed forces-wide, but I would imagine, in my cases, in my scenarios, in my experience, everything has been pretty damn kosher, right? What I'm trying to get at is, like, if there was someone who said a derogatory term outright, it would been cut out right then and there, like, Sergeant so-and-so, Captain so-and-so, Lieutenant so-and-so, check yourself. If you're not being talked to at that very moment, you're going to be talked to in the next hour, or at least close a business. You're going to say, like, hey, Sergeant so-and-so, Airman Snuffy, you know, how about, let's have a chat in our office, you know? And so, I think the military, and that's another thing, like, again, like, the military does a great job about keeping this in check, you know? I remember the story about, the Air Force Academy, like, there was a derogatory N-word that was in the bathroom, that was written on the walls, like, multiple times or whatever. We later find out that it was a hoax or a prank or a misjudge of character about other people, but it wasn't anyone that wasn't really doing it maliciously, right? But the point is, even though that was kind of quote-unquote fake, like, the military, the commandant, whatever, I forgot what they have there, took it seriously, right? They had training, they talked about it and said this won't be allowed. Done. We don't have to talk about this further. We don't have to beat this over the head like the left would like to do, right? And like I said, we don't enforce things by, if you want diversity and inclusion, you don't do it by these trainings. You do it by actually holding on to mission and values, not through actual training, because we are going to work together. Like, how many people have, can you imagine that you work with someone that you disagreed with, but hey, you had to work together, you have a shared mission, you guys actually finished the mission together, and like, yo, you're best friends. That is the military story throughout all of time. Like, you know, like, you may not like someone, like Hacksaw Ridge, like, the movie that just comes to mind. People didn't like him because they thought he was weak and not gonna be committed, but he's the most bravest one of them all, right? And so they took the time. If he wanted to pray, yo, we pray now, right now, because he's the one who went in behind the lines because he was willing to do it where other people didn't, you know? And so again, all these things line up. And so that's why I have an issue when it comes to this diversity training and inclusion, especially in the military, because we take care of our own as we should. That doesn't happen all the case, but we don't like, I never been in a unit in which anything was bad, and if there was something bad, it would have been taken care of right then and there. Go into the next question. Unconscious biases are the underlying stereotypes that people unintentionally attribute to another person or group that affect how they understand and engage with the other person or group. In what ways should you check your unconscious biases as you're leading and interacting with other airmen? What are the consequences of not checking them? This is the most wokest question ever in this training, and this is why I wanted to do this video. No one in the right mind that's actually normal uses the word unconscious biases. That is a woke term, that is a CRT term, that is no one, again, that is not in any conversation. That is something that you learn in academia and everything. That's not conversation. If you want to say like, hey, well, it should be. Well, in what cases? That is so, like, if you want to, in how many levels do you have to do of introspection of that? Again, you can say like it's easy to talk about, but in itself, like you talk about unconscious bias, it's in its name, it's kind of like inadvertently something that you do, right? Can you learn about it? Can you fix it? Can you be more aware of it? Sure, that's where the word leads into. But again, these words are underlying that these premises are there, that there's an unconscious bias, that people are inherently racist, you know? And so it is this stuff that is bad. Like, again, this is like borderline, if not already critical race theory, if not critical applied theory, because you're already giving the premise that these things are happening, and then you are forcing people to go into this. Again, do we want to talk about this and these are something that's kind of cool? Maybe. But again, these are woke ass terms. The next portion is like, what are some unconscious biases related to same-sex marriage, pregnancy, women, and leadership, and all this stuff, and other stuff dealing with race. Again, I have, like, if you've been in the military in 2021, none of this issues matter. And if there is, it's being taken care of. I'm glad, like at work, we talked about like pregnancy, like paternity leave, maternity leave, and all that stuff. And there are some issues, and I'm not saying that we have to throw all of this out of the water, right? But what I'm trying to get at is that already there's a level of wokeness that is in here, right? And then closing, because I'm already kind of like ranting on for a whole lot of this video, is that this is the focus that is coming from top down, right? Instead of being more of a lethal warrior fighting force and taking care of our mission, we are looking into this woke stuff and it shouldn't matter. We have the fall of Afghanistan, we have the fall of Kabul, and we're focusing on woke stuff? Come on now. Wrapping it up real quick, I don't want to leave this on a negative note. Like, again, as I said already, some of this stuff is important to talk about and to touch on, right? But there's a level of wokeness that you guys, that there is there, and we have to say it, see something, say something, right? And so, alright, so I'll just leave it there and see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. You can follow me on my Instagram at Hey Mitch Mitch. I'll make a TikTok and see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Peace, peace, peace. Be with you.